Good day, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well on this June the 13th of 2025 at 8:40 in the morning, coming to you from the communist shithole known as Ontario, Canada. Communist shithole, soon to be even more of a communist shithole, because China wants us to have their lovely social credit system. And believe me, our liberal government here also wants that. If they tell you they don't, they are liars. That's what they're tiptoeing towards. The Hegelian dialectic will be used. The concept of problem, reaction, solution. That's not exactly what the Hegelian dialectic says, but it's the simplest way to explain it real fast. Create the problem. Get a reaction from the people, which is usually fear and panic. And then you will have the solution already planned out and ready to offer them. That is the Hegelian dialectic, basically. So this will start with CBDCs, which are central bank digital currency. They will slowly phase out cash, which they're doing in many places already. They hate cash because you can go and do transactions that they don't know about. You can make cash without paying tax on it. There's just a million reasons they don't like it. So with the CBDC, not only will they know about it, they can decide whether you even get to do it or not through the social credit system. Now, we've had lots of breaches, security breaches with credit card numbers, all these different things that companies say they've been hacked and your information's been compromised and this and that. And they blame it on random hackers and stuff doing it. However, that's not who it is. It is the intelligence agencies doing this for this purpose. They want to have everybody frightened of security issues so they can say, but once we have this central bank digital currency and we use this blockchain technology, all of that security risk will be gone. And then you'll be safe. It's always safety. Okay, so always. That's how they're going to sell this to you. And that's why there's been all these security breaches. There's going to be more. Everyone's information is going to be compromised. They're going to be like, okay, we only got one choice. It's a CBDC. And then everybody will walk blindly into it and be okay with it. CBDCs are really nasty. They're going to be attached to your social credit score. Okay, so they have an expiry date. You have to spend them within a certain amount of time, or they just expire and they're no good. That's a way to prevent you from saving money and actually being independent and getting away from all that stuff. So that's one nasty thing. They're going to decide what it can be spent on and how often you can spend it on that. If your social credit score is too low, you won't be allowed to do a lot of things. It's like it's a merit system that depends on you being a good little boy or a good little girl and doing exactly what the government tells you to do and follow their philosophy and their ideology. Don't speak out against nothing. Basically, be a good little boy, a good little slave. Do what you're told, and then your credit score will go up. Your social credit score. This is already being done in China, by the way. This is not in theory. China already uses this system. And when they want to really punish somebody, they just turn their money off completely, and they have no money. If other people assist them when this has happened to them, those other people will get their money turned off too. So none of your friends, none of your family can help you at all. If you end up in this situation, no money, you just can't buy food, you can't get on public transportation, you can't do anything. You will starve. You will starve. Unless you can find a field somewhere and steal some food, but they're watching everything with surveillance everywhere, especially in China. It's even worse than it is here. You can't move 2 feet. You're being filmed. And it goes along with facial recognition software as well. That's really crazy. Everywhere a person goes in China, there's a facial recognition zooming in on their face and identifying them, and everybody is known, their whereabouts are known at all times in China. At all times. The AI system is basically surveilling the entire population very effectively. That's what's going to happen here, folks. We're going to tiptoe towards it. It's always a tiptoe. They don't just one day come out and say, today we implement a social credit system and everybody's got CBDCs. No, they're going to use the Hegelian dialectic and they're going to tiptoe towards it in different increments. The CBDC will be sold to you because of security breaches. That's the big one. And of course, then they can stop drug dealing and they can stop money laundering and all the terrible things. While that is true, it will really put the screws to that if they get rid of cash. It will also put the screws to law-abiding citizens in a big way. Let's say you're in the grocery store, or, well, here you can buy wine in the grocery store, so we'll say the grocery store, and you buy your groceries and you get a bottle of wine. So let's say it's the beginning of the month, and your social credit score is okay, you can do that. So you get your bottle of wine, you go home. Maybe 2 weeks later, you go back to the store, you want another bottle of wine, you want to have some wine with dinner. Cashier will say, sorry, your social credit score was not high enough to get a second bottle this month. You were only allowed to have one and you've already had it, so you'll have to wait till next month now to get your second bottle. That's just a quick example of what they're doing. If you don't have a certain score, you can't get a hotel room. You can't travel. You can't get on a plane. Not that I would want to. They're dropping out of the sky like flies, man. It's terrible. But this is where it's going. Total control. Absolute control. And businesses have an ESG score they have to go by. That is environmental, sustainability and governance, I believe is what that stands for. And it's screwing businesses over big time. It is destroying them because they can't keep up with the requirements to be good companies, good sustainable companies. They're asking ridiculous things. This is Larry Fink forcing behaviors. So the CEO of BlackRock is one of the most powerful men in the world. That is true. He is one of the most powerful men in the world. And he loves what China does because it's total authoritarian. They talk about equity. Well, it'll do that. Put everybody in the same boat. You're all screwed. You're all screwed, except for the elite ruling class, of course. None of this ever applies to them. That's why they salivate over it. This is going to be imposed on the people, not upon them. They're still going to live in their gated communities. They're going to have everything they want. They're going to have all the meat they want. They're going to have all the wine they want. They're going to be able to travel all they want. None of it affects these people. It only affects Johnny Sixpack and Sally Housecoat. That's who, I mean the common people, regular people. Got that from The Simpsons. Mr. Burns called people Johnny Sixpacks and Sally Housecoats. I thought that was good. I used to actually enjoy watching The Simpsons. That was pretty funny. That's where we're heading, folks. Social credit score is going to decide your life. Can you travel? Can you have wine? Can you have meat? They want to get rid of meat consumption completely. Now, I'm already a pescatarian, they call it. Means I only eat fish. I'm not a fan of eating animals because I think I don't know. I did most of my life eat meat, and then one day I just looked at some animal and went, I can't do that anymore. Even if it's a chicken, I just can't. I can't do it. Even fish, I stopped even eating that for a while, but then eventually I started getting unhealthy. I didn't have enough protein in my diet and stuff, and I had to eat something just to sustain myself. So I chose fish because that's my favorite of all meat. So that's the only thing I eat, and eggs. I do eat eggs. That's not a live chicken being slaughtered, so I can deal with the eggs. I mean, it's still kind of the same thing when you look at it, so I'm not even crazy about doing that, but I have to live, so. But meat consumption is considered the enemy by these billionaires. They actually call it agri-terrorism, I think. Wanting to eat meat, it's a form of terrorism to them now. That's if you're a meat eater, you're a terrorist, basically. Eco-terrorism, that's what they call it. Because farming just destroys the planet, and, you know, even though God made this earth for us to farm and do the things we're doing, they think that we're destroying the earth and causing the climate change, which is actually being done by weather modification. But, yeah, you know, I've already done videos on that. Social credit score, that's where it goes. If you need to be punished, they will have a way to do it. They'll turn off your money. If you just need to be somewhat punished, they'll just take away some of your privileges. Okay, so you're going. It's like everybody is going back to being 10 years old, and their parents are going to govern everything about their life and raise them like little children. That's what everybody's going to get. So those who go, communism, rah, 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 it comes with a social credit system this time. That's never been the case in history. That's a new one. Now that they have the technology to really clamp down on us, that's what they're going to do. And it's a total dystopian nightmare. That's what it's going to be. Will people willingly walk into it? Most will. Convenience. They're going to make things so convenient. Then they're going to offer you, of course, the mark of the beast in your hand. I've already seen people do it. Just pass their hand over the thing and pay for their food. And there's no amount of convenience in the world that's going to convince me to willingly do stuff like that. No. That is just, those people get what they deserve, because you should be able to see what they're doing. It is the mark of the beast. That's this whole social credit system and everything is pretty much the mark of the beast. Without the mark, you will not be able to buy, sell, or trade, or eat, or do anything. You won't be able to exist.